I'm a skeptic, by the way, guys. I don't like dreams and visions a whole lot because it's not the word. It's just somebody's dream or vision. So I don't really. I've always been a skeptic, but you're going to be hearing from me a skeptic of that, and I think it's going to give you a unique perspective, understanding that I'm a skeptic. And if it doesn't appeal to some of you guys, then don't follow that series. I'm also going to be getting off into preps. That's going to be interesting. These things are all necessary. May not appeal to everybody, but I'm going to tell you every single area that I'm going to be taking is necessary, or I wouldn't get into it. This video right here opens up the series on dreams and visions, and I want to explain to you a little bit about my perception of a dream or a vision. And I know there's a big difference. Some people label them as both. To me, a dream's a dream, you're asleep. A vision, you're awake. That's the way I got it. I don't like dreams. Everybody seems to have a dream. I don't like it, and that's probably the reason behind it, because everybody seems to have a dream, and I don't think anything of dreams, guys. In fact, for the most part, I don't even remember my dreams, and I like that. Because I get to tell the difference between a God dream really simply. My dreams I don't remember. And if I do remember, it's like bits and pieces, and it's like, who cares? Who cares? So I dreamt something in the middle of the night. Whoop-dee-dee. But when I have a dream from God, it is like in my face. It's like it's like something that is filled with emotion. It seems like it's always in color. It's one thing about it, it's always short and it's concise. I like that. I get a message, and it's generally just one message. It's not this long dream that just keeps going on, and then I went over here, and then that happened, and then this happened. I hate that. To me, as far as I'm concerned, that's just a dream, at least the way I would think about it. But when I have my dreams, they are in my face. I'll always wake up immediately after it. I've learned over the years that when I wake up out of it, I'll repeat it to myself. I won't go back to sleep. I'll repeat it, because the dreams are so. It's like if you're listening to yourself say it back to yourself, you hear the interpretation as you repeat it. That's how simple it is for me. And again, they're in my face. I cannot mistake a God dream between a regular dream that I have. And the interesting thing about it is they always pertain to the end time. Always. It's always about the end. It's never been anything, okay, it's rare I'll get schooled by God about something that needs to happen in my life. But it also should be understood, if I have a dream from God more than 3 times a year, that's like a monumental. That's a thing. I don't get dreams that often, but when I get them, they're very powerful, and there's always a message, and they're unmistakable. For instance, my very first dream that I had, I'm not going to get into it really. I'm just trying to. My first dream that I had, never really understanding a God dream, was 35 years ago, and I woke up immediately out of it. Knew I'd had a God dream. Nobody had to tell me, you just had a God dream. Or do you think that might have been God? I knew it was God. And I woke up out of it. And it involved the rapture and the end and what happened prior to the end and right before the rapture. In fact, I was preaching a service, and I had to tell the dream. It was just so crazy. And that was a part of the dream. There was no order. There was no law. Nothing of any structure in the United States. And I preached this to a congregation in Bakersfield, California, 35 years. I don't know if any of you. Bakersfield, California, Bethany Center. Ethel Bartlett was the pastor. I was preaching, I'll never forget this, preaching it to the congregation. Or I mixed it in one of my messages, I don't really remember. Anyway, I get to the part to where right before the rapture, and for those of you who think there's not going to be a rapture, oh, there's going to be a rapture, all right. But I didn't need to be schooled on it. I experienced it. As far as I knew, I experienced it. And right before that, and I'll never forget the congregation's faces, I'm telling them, preceding the rapture, marijuana would be legalized. And they're going like, you've lost it. You don't know what you're saying. And guys, you got to go with the framework back then, 35 years ago. Marijuana, that's illegal. You're going to jail if you get caught for anything more than an ounce. You're in trouble. It was never ever even dreamed of that it would become legalized. And so they're looking at me like this again. Bakersfield, California, Bethany Center, Pastor Ethel Bartlett. I was telling this dream. If anybody was there or knows anybody, they'll never forget the message. And they're looking at me like yeah, Steve's lost it. He's totally lost it. And I'm telling him this, and that would be one of the signs prior, and I got to experience the rapture to where I literally felt like I wanted to sit up because I was going, and then the dream ended, and I knew I had seen the end. I'd seen the end, or at least portions of the end. And I look at today, and I see one of the signs prior to the rapture is marijuana was legalized, and I knew in my head if there was a store I could have went and bought it. Not kidding, guys. God's my witness. May I burn in hell, sit next to Satan if that's possible, or at a lower spot if I'm lying, and preaching it to the congregation. So that's the kind of stuff you're going to hear in this series, guys. I think it's all going to matter to you. I think you're going to hear things that are very real. They're going to impact you. I wouldn't want to miss it if I were you. I don't want to waste my time giving you things that, somebody had a dream. That's not what this is going to be. Look for this. Until next time, take care and God bless.